Hey everybody, welcome to the church building. We are continuing our journey through the Bible. Numbers chapter 27. There's been some exciting developments. Some wild stuff has gone down with the Israelites. We will continue and see where it leads through chapter 30. We're just going to dive right in. Minimal commentary. Today is a minimal commentary day. I've been talking too much, and now we're going to pause and just read. All right. Chapter 27. Then the daughters of Zelophehad came forward. Zelophehad was son of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph, a member of the Massite clans. The names of his daughters were Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and all the congregation at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and they said, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among the company of those who gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died for his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from his clan because he had no son? Give to us a possession among our father's brothers." Verse 5, Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "The daughters of Zelophehad are right in what they are saying. You shall indeed let them possess an inheritance among their father's brothers and pass the inheritance of their father on to them. You shall also say to the Israelites, if a man dies and has no son, then you shall pass his inheritance on to his daughter. If he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to the nearest kinsman of his clan, and he shall possess it. It shall be for the Israelites a statute and ordinance, as the Lord commanded Moses." Verse 17, the Lord said to Moses, "Go up this mountain of the Abarim range and see the land that I have given to the Israelites. When you have seen it, you also shall be gathered to your people, as your brother Aaron was, because you rebelled against my word in the wilderness of Zin, when the congregation quarreled with me. You did not show my holiness before their eyes at the waters. These are the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin." Moses spoke to the Lord, saying, "Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, appoint someone over the congregation, who shall go out before them and come in before them, who shall lead them out and bring them in, so that the congregation of the Lord may not be like sheep without a shepherd." So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand upon him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and all the congregation, and commission him in their sight. You shall give him some of your authority, so that all the congregation of the Israelites may obey. But he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire for him by the decision of the Urim before the Lord. At his word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the Israelites with him, the whole congregation." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and had him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole congregation. He laid his hands on him and commissioned him as the Lord had directed through Moses. Chapter 28, after a brief bit of milk. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Command the Israelites and say to them, my offering, the food for my offerings by fire, my pleasing odor, you shall take care to offer to me at its appointed time. And you shall say to them, this is the offering by fire that you shall offer to the Lord, 2 male lambs a year old without blemish, daily, as a regular offering. 1 lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at twilight. Also 1/10 of an ephah of choice flour for a grain offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil. It is a regular burnt offering ordained at Mount Sinai." Sorry, my phone just lit up. Modern day interruptions while reading ancient text. Verse 6, it is a regular burnt offering ordained at Mount Sinai for a pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. Its drink offering shall be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. In the sanctuary you shall pour out a drink offering of strong drink to the Lord. The other lamb you shall offer at twilight, with a grain offering and a drink offering like the one in the morning. You shall offer it as an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. Again, I ask, is this a new thing? Is this a new commandment? Or is this just, are we repeating an old one? It said it was ordained at Mount Sinai. I'm just going to go with it. Whatever you say, Moses, you're the leader. No questions asked. On the Sabbath day, verse 9, 2 male lambs a year old without blemish and 2/10 of an ephah of choice flour for a grain offering mixed with oil, and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. That may have answered my question. At the beginnings of your months you shall offer a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish, also 3/10 of an ephah of choice flour for a grain offering mixed with oil for each bull, and 2/10 of a choice flour for a grain offering mixed with oil for the 1 ram, and 1/10 of choice flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for every lamb, a burnt offering of pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. Their drink offering shall be 1/2 a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. Just want to make sure I read that right. Verse 14, their drink offerings shall be a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And there shall be 1 male goat for a sin offering to the Lord. It shall be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. Verse 16, on the 14th day of the month there shall be a Passover offering to the Lord. And on the 15th day of this month is a festival. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. You shall offer an offering by fire, a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old. See that they are without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of choice flour mixed with oil. 3/10 of an ephah shall you offer for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. 1/10 you shall offer for each of the 7 lambs, also 1 male goat for a sin offering to make atonement for you. You shall offer these in addition to the burnt offering of the morning, which belongs to the regular burnt offering. In the same way you shall offer daily for 7 days the food of an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. It shall be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering, and on the 7th day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. Verse 26. On the day of the first fruits, when you offer a grain offering of new grain to the Lord at your festival of weeks, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. You shall offer a burnt offering, a pleasing odor to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old. Their grain offering shall be of choice flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat to make an atonement for you. In addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, you shall offer them and their drink offering. They shall be without blemish. Chapter 29. To be honest, it's just like there's so much, so many sacrifices and offerings. It's like nonstop, constant. Like I feel a little bit overwhelmed. Like this is impossible. I'm sure somebody's going to say that's the point. The point is it's impossible. It couldn't be done. Therefore, you learn a valuable lesson. Maybe. But boy, we had nice fish in Egypt, and now I can see it. I can picture it. let's go on. Let's see what else we have to do. Chapter 29. On the first day of the 7th month, I'd probably be dead by now. The earth is going to swallow me up. But you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say. Chapter 29. On the first day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. It is a day for you to blow the trumpets, and you shall offer a burnt offering, a pleasing odor to the Lord. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of choice flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat for a sin offering to make atonement for you. These are in addition to the burnt offering of the new moon and its grain offering, and the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to the ordinance for them, a pleasing odor and offering by fire to the Lord. Verse 7, on the 10th day of this 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation and deny yourselves. You shall do no work. You shall offer a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing odor, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old. They shall be without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of choice flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering of atonement, and the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and their drink offerings. Verse 12, on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall not work at your occupations. You shall celebrate a festival to the Lord 7 days. You shall offer a burnt offering, an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old. They shall be without blemish. Their grain offering shall be of choice flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. I think we're on the 4th day. Bit of milk. Verse 23, on the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its offering. Joshua, are you getting this? Joshua, you're going to be doing this for your life, so figure this out. 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offerings. On the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish, with the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also 1 male goat for a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offerings, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day, you shall have a solemn assembly. You shall not work at your occupations. You shall offer a burnt offering, an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord, 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish, and the grain offering and the drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lamb, as prescribed in accordance with their number. Also, 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. These you shall offer to the Lord at your appointed festivals, in addition to your votive offerings and your freewill offerings, as your burnt offerings, your grain offerings, your drink offerings, and your offerings of well-being. So Moses told the Israelites everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Good luck. Good luck, boys. Better find a lot of animals for these festivals. Chapter 30. Let's be respectful. Come on. Let's be respectful. Chapter 30. Then Moses said to the heads of the tribes of the Israelites, "This is what the Lord has commanded. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. When a woman makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow or her pledge by which she has bound herself and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father expresses disapproval to her at the time that he hears of it, no vow of hers and no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. And the Lord will forgive her because her father had expressed to her his disapproval. If she marries while obligated by her vows or any thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she has bound herself, and her husband hears of it and says nothing to her at the time that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her pledges by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if, at the time that her husband hears of it, he expresses disapproval to her, then he shall nullify the vow by which she was obligated, or the thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and the Lord will forgive her. But every vow of a widow or of a divorced woman by which she has bound herself shall be binding upon her. And if she made a vow in her husband's house or bound herself by a pledge with an oath, and her husband heard it and said nothing to her and did not express disapproval to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband nullifies them at the time that he hears them, then whatever proceeds out of the lips concerning her vows or concerning her pledge of herself shall not stand. Her husband has nullified them, and the Lord will forgive her. Any vow or any binding oath to deny herself her husband may allow to stand, or her husband may nullify. But if her husband says nothing to her from day to day, then he validates all her vows, or all her pledges by which she is obligated. He has validated them because he said nothing to her at the time that he heard of them. But if he nullifies them some time after he has heard of them, then he shall bear her guilt. These are the statutes that the Lord commanded Moses concerning a husband and his wife, and a father and his daughter, while she is still young and in her father's house. Thank you, everybody, for joining me through these chapters. That was 26 through 30. What can you say? What can you say, really? You could say a lot, probably. I'm just marking this off on my planner. Thanks again. I hope you're doing well. I'll just stop there. I've said enough. See you later.